welcome back to Man Across New Horizons. I'm Day Darling. As you see what's going on a lovely island of Fawnhollow today, where we're just vibing out per usual. I'm vibing out. I was, carrying on drawing a thumbnail up for year 3. Just earlier today. I'm at the stage where I'm colouring everything in. By word, colouring in things takes a long time. I've gone a decent way through, but I decided for some reason that in this thumbnail I'm gonna try and pay attention to all the little details and that sort of thing. So I'm going to try and be as accurate as possible to Animal Crossing details, and it is tiring. It's probably what I'd say, and I'm not even done. But it's okay, we've got a few days, I think like 6 days or something to finish it, and hopefully I'll finish it in time. I will say I spent a long time on this already. It's taken far longer than I expected. But anyway, hello there everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow, it's 5:24 PM on Thursday, March 17th, 2022. So we have a villager staying at the campsite. Do you think it's fauna? That would be interesting if you invited a villager multiple times and they had like an increased chance to actually appear at the campsite, but it is very unlikely to be fauna, nor does it matter if it is fauna or not, because we have a little fauna, of course, in our case here. But anyway, yeah, I'm just doing some colouring. I don't know, it's amusing how different colouring is, I suppose, under a different sort of perspective. You know, when you're younger, you used to do like the colouring by numbers, paint by numbers. Well, it wasn't paint by numbers, but like those colouring books and all those sort of things, and you know they're often very relaxing. But of course, I wonder when the last time I've done one of those is. I'm trying to think. Not the last time I coloured something in. I've coloured many things in. Surprisingly, you know, it's, when you do art, I suppose that's quite a common thing to do. I suppose I haven't coloured many things in physically for a while. I think the last thing I did was some of my friends got me some Copic markers, which I was experimenting with. I still need to probably like use them to actually create something, because every time I get like faced with a different medium, I'm like, ooh, this is weird. Oh, you are. I know your name. You're like Billy? No, you're not Billy. Gruff. That's it. I was like, in my head, it's like Billy, Goat, Gruff, but I didn't know which one it was, and obviously it wasn't Goat. That's not the point. What's the point? Colouring things in. Yeah, because like when you're young, and even when you're older, I suppose it's a very sort of relaxing activity. And I was actually talking to one of my friends because long story short, he saw one of his other friends doing his paint by numbers things, and he was like, "Oh, that looks really," and there was like, it was meant to be like relaxing or something, and then like, you know, most people do find paint by numbers, that sort of thing, really relaxing. And then, you know, he thought he'd give it a shot, and then he did it, and he was talking about how he was just finding it intensely like frustrating, I suppose. Like how it was very much not for him. Which, you know, if you knew him, you'd be like, yeah, duh. But I'm not here to really comment about what the heck's a power stone. Oh, it's a crystal ball. That's really spooky. We should put that down somewhere on the island once we actually think about having to decorate it. And us, you know, this is ages ago, this like months ago, I think, and you know, I just got reminded of that conversation. As you're thinking about it now, I'm not really sure when the last time I've done a paint by numbers or colour by numbers or whatever you might call them. When the last time I've actually done one of those is. It's been ages, probably not since primary school, I must have imagined. Maybe I've done one more recently, but not one I can think of. Literally the last one I can think of that I've done is like, there's this restaurant, which, I mean, despite the fact it's an American kind of restaurant, it's an Italian-American themed food restaurant called Frankie and Benny's. I don't know if it's only exclusive to Britain, to be honest. It might be, it might not be, so don't quote me on that. But you can go to Frankie and Benny's, and of course it's a very sort of typical thing, where there's a kids menu, and then you also get like kids activities if you order something, or if you have a kids menu, they see you're a kid and that's something, they'll give you like a box of crayons and this like activity book thing. That's, you know, not particularly out of the ordinary for a restaurant. I'd imagine it's much more common in American restaurants than necessarily British ones. Oh, hello Pecan. Oh, we don't have anything to give you. Okay, we'll come back to you, Pecan. Because it's not something I really remember seeing like any other restaurants, to be perfectly honest. But Frankie and Benny's is it's a family restaurant, I suppose. That's probably why. But they give you like a little booklet, and there's like a not paint by numbers, so like a colouring by numbers thing or something on it. They give you like a little box of crayons to fill it in at the same time. I remember doing it, and I remember I was at the age where I was like, I'm not really a child, so I'm not sure why they gave it to me, but I did it anyway. I think I must have been around like 11 or something. Maybe a little bit younger, I'm not really sure, but it's basically when I'm starting mentally to be like, oh, I'm kind of like a teenager now, and that sort of thing. So, you know, I'm like, oh, this is beneath me as a child. Of course, nowadays I'd be like, oh yeah, sure, why not? It'd be a fun way to pass the time. I'm not going to be like, well, this is the best thing ever. Because, you know, I do a lot of drawing in my spare time anyway, you know. Ooh, Crazy Red is our visitor today. I do a lot of drawing in my spare time anyway, so it's not like, kind colouring in like a colouring page is like novel to me or anything like that. I suppose it's not like something I haven't done in a while. I suppose is the way I've done it, except for nowadays, you know, I suppose I make my own colouring pages, if that's kind of how you want to think about it. I used to have a colouring book as well, but now I think about it, I don't think I ever filled it in. I'm not sure, maybe I wasn't so interested in when colouring in when I was younger, but nowadays, or even now, I guess it's not really colouring in. I'm kind of using like the selection tool and a fill bucket tool, which is kind of different. And rendering it feels like a very different process, I suppose, in the colouring books that you used to have. But that's not really the point of us now here nor there. I'm trying to think of the last time I've really done proper colouring. It might have been then, I'm not really sure. I can't really think of a more recent time, but that seems like so long ago. It's almost sad in a sense, but not really. I feel like a more common thing I see as like a child activity involving drawing or doodling in some sort of aspect is what's it called? I've only got paint by numbers in my head, and that's not what I mean. Dot to dot, you know, we start at one dot which has a 1 next to it, and you go to 1, you draw a straight line which goes to 2, and you like eventually fill in the entire thing. And then if you really want to, you can colour it in afterwards, which I don't know if I particularly did all that often. But I'm sure that's something I did quite often when I was a child as well. No, I suppose I I enjoyed dots to dots a bit more. Perhaps it was much more systematic, which appealed to my sort of sensibilities of that age. More than now. It's sort of like, I suppose, doing a puzzle versus, you know, like colouring in pages to me, or is just like a halfway between doing something systematically and then creatively, which is, it's a bit of a weird in between, which you might be like, hey, isn't that a bit weird for, like, contradictory for you to say, because you're sort of a weird in between, I suppose, between systematic things and a creative mindset. And I suppose that's true. Perhaps, you know, you tend to not like things too close to yourself, and no, opposites attract after all. Yeah, I mean, your dots and dots, very systematic, very sort of, it's like kind of solving a puzzle, that sort of aspect. But then, and then like colouring in your own drawing that you've done, it's like, I suppose, the other scale of things are doing actually something super creative. Well, not to say super creative, but you have full control, I suppose, on the creativity aspect of it, which, you know, is enticing in its own right. And then, like, colouring in is sort of like a weird in between, where it's just like, oh, you don't have quite the creative control that you have over doing something like making your own drawing, but you also don't have quite the systematic system, I suppose, that dot to dot has, you know. It's sort of like a sprinkling, it's sort of like a stepping stone into creativity, while also keeping a systematic pace, which, I don't know, I guess that just didn't appeal to me when I was younger, so I just didn't really do it as much. Because I'm pretty sure we had like a Disney colouring book or something. I feel like I did. I don't know. Or maybe I just wasn't very good at colouring. I'm not really sure. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I had a sudden flashback of back into reception, which is basically kindergarten. That was kind of kindergarten, like upper kindergarten, if that was a thing, in the UK, where there was this other girl. She was very artsy. She might still be very artsy. I don't really know. I haven't spoken to her for like 20 years. Okay, maybe not 20 years. That's a bit too long. 18 years? I'm just doing maths in my head. That doesn't work out. 17 years. No, what? I can't do maths. 13 years. I'm not 28. Why do I think I was 28? And how the teacher was like holding up her work to the class, because it was just a worksheet, and it was like colour this square in blue, colour this square in green, and how she coloured it in very neatly and like stayed within the lines of that sort of thing. And, you know, I remember like, sort of like looking at my own work afterwards and being like, oh man, I'm so messy about this. And then from that day forward, I suppose I always, whenever there's like colouring things, I colour things very neatly in between lines, taking good care over doing that. And, you know, I suppose part of it was just due to my sort of like people-pleasing nature background, or perhaps even still now, where I'm just like, oh, you know, I want to seek approval and that sort of thing, and she got called out for having very neat colouring. I'm going to emulate that, I suppose, and also, you know, hopefully get the same sort of satisfaction from it in the end. But of course nowadays you can see it from a much more adult perspective. You're just like, oh, you know, just like, why not? I mean, if you want to colour outside the lines, by all means do so, but I'm not really that sort of person to colour outside the lines. If the lines are there, why not colour in them? You've been given a system, and it's basically what creative ness can you flex within that enclosed system. Like, you don't, you know, to me, you don't get bonus points for colouring out and being like, oh, look at the quirkiness, and like breaking the lines and that sort of thing, unless you're breaking them for, like, you know, good effect or good reason and that sort of aspect. But what was I saying? I'm getting so many like random flashbacks to reception now. I have no idea why. Yeah, I suppose certain amount of creativity is not basically throw anything you have together. To me, it's like a restrained creativity is the best kind of creativity, where creativity, but you have to do it within like a certain context. Not you have to do it within a certain context, but there are contexts to do it within. For example, like I'm trying to think, like if you were given a prompt or something, or like you were given a commission, you know, to draw someone like that, you didn't get bonus arts for just going like completely wild and breaking all the rules of a commission, because that's like sort of like, you know, breaking the rules, or that's sort of like a mold breaking. I'm being so creative in that aspect. No, you know, that's the point of a prompt, is you have the rules there, those are things you have to follow, and it's your creativity which you find reflecting space, I suppose, within that boundary. And with that, you can truly express yourself and show off how well you can do, despite the fact that you had to conform to certain things or not, you know. But it's just, I don't know, I suppose it's sort of like having your heads in the cloud while also having your feet on the ground, which is, you know, I'm not like 1,000 kilometers tall. I don't know how far away the clouds are, I'm going to be perfectly honest. But probably less than 1,000 kilometers. That sounds too high. I don't really know though. Also, research. How high up is the atmosphere? 10,000 kilometers. Oh, it's way more than 1,000 kilometers. Well, I have like no judgment of like how far a distance is. I'm terrible at that. Anyway, I've talked about this before, and like estimations. I'm very bad at estimating like distances and numerical values, I suppose, in that aspect, which is a bit strange, you might say, with my more math-sided part of my brain. And I'm like, I don't really know why that is, to be honest. It just, for some reason, my brain ain't the best at estimating those sort of distances and whatnot. Anyway, so the colouring in pages, yeah, I'm not really sure. I feel like I had colouring in pages. Colouring in books, definitely before when I was younger. I feel like I did a lot of random drawings when I was younger as well. I don't really recall them. I know we had felt tip pens. And I'm sure at the time I was like, oh man, I must be colouring in this super well. I'm like, you know, positively doing fantastic. I'm like really expressing my creativity. But then I have a memory of looking back at like some of the things I coloured in when I was, well, ultra no-show socks. I've never seen that before. Are things I've coloured in when I was younger, and I looked at it and being like, wow, I'm incredibly bad at sticking like in the lines or things like that. I guess some things never change. We're still waiting for the bow to appear, I suppose, in the Enable Sisters, but just so we can get the orange one, so we can complete the orange and pink colour scheme that we seem to be going for. I mean, now you mention it, I guess I do have kind of red in the colour scheme as well. The Dear Darling colour scheme, that is. Yeah, and it's just like I took a felt tip pen and it's like grabbed it in my fist, you know, like you grab like a stabbing knife. I don't know why that's the first thing that came to mind, and you sort of just like run it back and forth over the page with sort of no semblance of exactly where the lines are and that sort of thing. I wish I could find like art I've done from when I was very young. It'd probably be very amusing to look at, but honestly I had no idea where I'd even be. Perhaps my parents have copies of them or something. You know, that's certainly something I would probably do as a parent, just like nostalgically hold on to these like drawings my child has created or something like that. I don't know. I've also had flashbacks to like when I used to play Neopets, and we used to have like these colouring in pages that you were meant to like print off and then like colour them in, except for I didn't understand that you were meant to print them off and colour them in, so I don't even know what I did. Maybe I like copied and pasted them and put them into Paint, like MS Paint, and coloured them in that way. I honestly can't really recall off the top of my head of exactly what I did, but I mean, I can certainly see that being within my sort of what I did. I don't know, because I feel like I really remember just like browsing video pets, like colouring in pages and that sort of thing, but never actually colouring in any of them. I don't even remember colouring them in MS Paint, so I don't even know if that's true or not. Might have just been a falsehood story I just made up for you right now. But you believed it. No, I don't know. What is this, like, would you lie to me? Probably the least interesting story. I'd be terrible at that show. I'd have no interesting story to tell. Okay, that's not probably true, but I'm not very interesting. I'm not much of a risk taker. I say this all the time. I'm not much of a risk taker, so I don't have any sort of like wild or crazy stories a lot of the time. Because a lot of my wild or crazy stories would be sort of preambled by me being like, oh, that seems like a bad idea. I'm not going to take that risk. And thus, it would not happen. Anyway, I was neither here nor there. Oh, Celeste, if I remember to speak to you later on today. Then see you later on today. We'll finally get another recipe. Probably won't though, because it always sort of slips my mind. You like why I said that? I don't know what I'm saying. So yeah, what else have I been up to? You know, just playing some games, that sort of thing. Shiny colours. There have been some reruns. Visual Astromelia. All the Visual Astromelia fans in chat say, hey, yo. Just me? Alright. I was sad, had Spark Grab banner. Anticipating my next Astro Mario card, which will probably be in like 1 week, 2 weeks. That's going to be scary. That's not very interesting to you. I don't know why I continuously talk about shiny colours as if anyone cares about it. Go back to swap my colouring pages and dots. You know, another annoying thing about, which I was thinking about when my friend was also doing the paint by numbers thing. Because his one was a paint by numbers, and the numbers are very sort of like written in quite like a, not a thick black ink, but like it's very prominently black ink, I suppose there. But of course you're painting over it with the paint, so a lot of the time you can build up a thick enough layer that you won't actually be able to notice exactly the number hiding underneath. That was my problem with a lot of those sort of like colour in by numbers that I had when I was younger. Is very few of them decided to actually do the smart thing and put the numbers in like a faint grey or something in the actual block itself. Because then when you actually try and like colour over it, if you use something like a felt tip pen, which would be a terrible idea, because then the number will just show through in that area. You know, the felt tip pens kind of work like, I suppose, in the highlighter aspect, where it sort of just feels like they're kind of translucent in a certain sense. Not many of them are very thick that they will be able to completely paint over printer ink or that sort of thing. And colouring pencils aren't even that good at it either. So then you just have this page that you coloured in, but unless the numbers are really tiny, you'll just have like a little black dots of numbers all throughout them. Jolly Red, we don't need any of these, and these are, let's see. That one might be real, this one's fake. This one's real. I think this one's real. There's actually 3 real ones, maybe 2 real ones. I can't remember if this one's real or not. We don't need any of them, so Crazy Red, we're going to disrespect you just by leaving. Because you disrespected us. We only need 2 things, Red. I'm telling you. Rosetta Stone, Bust of Nefertiti. Those are the only things we need. And then our museum will be complete. Anyway. So yeah, before you colour by numbers, people out there, absolutely, you gotta make sure that those numbers you put in, they're faint, so when you colour over them, that black ink doesn't show you through and doesn't, you know, kind of ruin the composition by having a load of black dots everywhere. That's just what I think, personally. What else was I going to say about this? There's something else I wanted to add on about something, but I can't really remember what it was. Oh yeah, and that like, how do I tell you like what numbers go where? Because in my friend's paint by numbers thing, he had like of course all the paints. So they give you all the paints because, you know, I don't think many people who are not painters would just not have paints on behind. And if you are a painter, you probably wouldn't be doing a paint by numbers. You'd probably just be painting. I guess. I don't actually know if that's true or not. I mean, I suppose from my own perspective. Who are you waving to? Oh, Woody. I suppose from my own perspective, as someone who does draw, instead of doing like kind of by numbers, I would just draw instead. But that's kind of neither here nor there. You know, different tricks with different folks, as they say. Where's it going with this? Yeah, how do they tell you what colours to do anyway? Of course, if you buy a kit, the paint by numbers thing, they give you like labelled pots, tiny pots of like the paints that you're meant to use and that sort of thing. And then I don't know, because colour by numbers. Now I think about it, I think it was just a classroom activity we did. So we sell that one because it's not going to be worth enough money. I think it was just like a usual classroom activity we did. So we were given like colouring pencils, I suppose, in the lessons, and then you can colour them in at your own pace. I don't think we did it like actually during a lesson. Now I think about it, I think it was just sort of like I don't know, like a wet play sort of activity you might have done. And you're like, what's wet play? It's kind of like when it's raining outside, and in American terms, it's when recess is cancelled. Outside recess, you had to have indoor recess instead because it is too rainy, and they don't want kids to get, you know, like pneumonia or something. I don't know why we didn't put this in our storage when we were on Halves Island, but either way, that's neither here nor there. Yeah, it seems like quite a usual activity. But in that sort of aspect, they're not giving you the pencils. They can't give you the pencils and label them. Well, I mean, I suppose they could if the teachers were buying like all these kits for. My God, that was such a loud gyroid. All these colour by numbers, but most of the time I'd imagine they're not. I don't really know. Is colour by numbers even a thing? Have I just made this up? Colour by numbers for kids and adults. It is a thing. What is this horrific one? Colour by numbers in words, but again, the text. The black text is just too prominent. You can't colour over things very well. Like this. Is this like a digital version? I don't really know what's going on. No one's using a faded grey to properly indicate. what colour should be in here, because now when you colour over it, it's just gonna, the black's gonna show through. It's just not the same. It's just not the same. It's like I don't even care about the artistic integrity of a piece that they're creating and trying to guide the youth through a much more artistic process by teaching them wrong fundamentals. No, obviously, all of what I just said made no sense. Don't hold any of what I said to like up to any sort of like moral standard or moral code. I'm just sort of speaking nonsensically. So Pecan, you got 2 chances to give me your photo, lest you'll be forgotten to the sands of time. That's not really true. A do-rag. Sorry, I don't know what happened to my voice there. Okay, what are we going to do Nookmar mission-wise? We only got 10 minutes left of this episode. Craft things, deep-sea creatures, talk to someone. Okay, let's talk to Amelia, because she's right here. What is ringing? Oh, you rang the wedding bell, I see. I was like, it's not 6 o'clock. I was like, what on earth? I'm recording this episode much later than I expected. So colour by numbers is the thing. I didn't just make that up, I suppose, in my head, which is, you know, always reassuring that I'm not slowly losing my mind. I suppose we can pick some wheat to make something. Instead, we're going to go deep sea diving. If we don't have to create food items, we won't. Yeah, I guess there just must be something like on the worksheet as well, just being like, oh, 1 is yellow, 2 is red, 3 is green, 4 is blue. Like, oh. You ever associate numbers with colours? Those are the colours I associate with them. Orange is 5. And then 6 is purple. And then 7 is like light pink. Sometimes it's even white. 8 is like a brown, I guess. I don't even know what 9 is, I guess. Oh, 0 is black. I'm trying to picture what 9 is. 9 is shaking back and forth. For some reason it feels a bit orangey to me again. I don't really know the difference. It's not like I always associate yellow with number 1 for some reason. Yeah, I don't know why. Sometimes it's blue. I guess I don't really associate numbers with colours. Oh, I forgot to read out your thing. It's been so long, Pascal, since we've had to read out one of your deep sea diving things, and I just skipped over it like an utter fool, an utter buffoon. What else did I do today? I did today's Samantha. I actually got it really quickly. I got it in 30, which is incredibly quickly. Mainly because I got it from, spoilers if you haven't done a Samantha yet, by putting dream in and then following that sort of path. Okay, what else by colour by numbers? There should be an Animal Crossing colour by numbers. That seems like it would do like sell for hotcakes. I don't know why I said sell like hotcakes. I don't think I've ever said that expression before. For some reason it just came to mind. There almost certainly is an Animal Crossing colour by numbers. That seems too perfect for Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing colouring book. Like an official Nintendo Animal Crossing colouring book? Is this an official one? Impressive. Animal Crossing book. Animal Crossing impressive adult colouring book. Books, colouring animal. This can't be official. Is this official? Can you do this? Can you just take someone else's IP and just make it? Can you just use someone else's IP as a colouring book? Stained glass colouring book. I mean, I shouldn't say that they're using the IP just like that as if they were stealing it. I mean, maybe like Nintendo allowed a trademark, I suppose, for that sort of thing, and, you know, commissioned them to make this colouring book. Look inside. Yeah, sure, let's look inside. Oh, look, it's Phoebe. It's Phoebe and who's that? Oh, I know your name, but I can't remember it. It's the one who looks like, Falco. Oh, I can't remember off the top of my head. Who's this? That looks like Molly. This looks like... Who's this? I don't know. It shocks me that they haven't even written down who this character is. This is the racing horse villager. Winnie? That doesn't sound right. It's Kiki Slider. Wow. What other Animal Crossing books are there? Animal Crossing colouring book. Great gift for kids who love Frozen. Okay. A lot of incredible illustrations of Animal Crossing for kids to relax and relieve stress. Well, that's good, but I don't really know what Frozen's got to do with it, I'm going to be perfectly honest. What we're gonna do? Oh, let's do the daily exercises. So I was just sort of glance through Amazon. Okay, who have they got? We've got a bit of Sable over here. That's what's that? Who's that? That's Bam. Are these just things like traced over the official artwork? It's copyrighted material. Test colour page. This looks to be like Timmy or Tommy. Perhaps Nick. You got Peanut. You got Amelia. Oh, these aren't using the New Horizon ones. Oh, Pascal! I didn't know Pascal could do the daily exercises. That's crazy. There's a very haunting looking blathers. And a strange looking nook. Like the P9 and Amelia definitely traced over like their official arts from like Wild World. But the blathers and Tom Nook do not. And also there's also just like Midge here in the middle for some reason. I don't get all of these Animal Crossing colouring books for some reason now. The stained glass one, let's look in here. These are pretty good. It's a great honour to serve you. Who's that? We've got Leif, we've got a bit of Marshall and Raymond. Got another Marshall, we've got Zucker, we've got KK Slider, Isabel, that's official art. Tom Nook, just an Animal Crossing villager. This looks like fan art. Who's that? There's Meringue, Coco. I can't tell which cat that is, I'm going to be honest. That could be any cat. I wonder if these were like stolen fan arts or something, or if these were actually made by them. Who knows? Official Animal Crossing activity book by Nintendo. Do you think this has colouring in pages in it? I'm judging all the colouring in pages now on these official Animal Crossing books. Quite quick. By Stephen Fox. How many words can you make out of Animal Crossing? Try to come up with 10. How about New Horizons? Trying to think of 15. Can you enjoy yourself in the style of Animal Crossing New Horizons? Like, I used to have this for like with Pokemon. What are they called? Like, they were like annual Pokemon, not dexes, I can't remember. Pokemon annual compendiums? That's not the right word. There's a puzzle. There's a lot of drawing stuff. Stuff to buy. There's a maze. There's no colouring in there. I suppose it's just drawing, which, if anything, I should be like, oh, that's even better than what I expected. How to draw Animal Crossing villagers? Who can we learn how to draw as? How to draw so people are holding this book. Oh, there's Bo? Yeah. There's this colouring page. Oh, what? We can't even see you. Oh well. Now all my recommendation stuff on Amazon is going to be Animal Crossing stuff, which I guess there could be worse things to be recommended. But we're going to craft the coconut things to get the crafting mission done, and then we will probably round up this episode here. Whoa, what's all this weird stuff we got? Glowing moss jar, glowing moss statue, glowing moss reef. So much glowing moss. Learn to draw Animal Crossing New Horizon villagers. I just want to see who they chose to put in their book. That's always the most interesting thing for me. Who they chose to teach you how to draw. What? This is rubbish contents. Animal Crossing Monopoly? How to draw. Animal Crossing characters. I just want to know which ones they chose. This looks like exactly... This is the same book, just with a different cover. Can they do that? Can you do that? You can just sell the same book but put a different cover on it? So I don't know, I guess that increases... Does that really increase like the market share you got? And that sort of thing. This is the same book, but again... What? One of the things that they teach you how to draw is Raymond in a maid dress. Pardon me? Like, I know that was a popular thing because Raymond was... Well, it is still incredibly popular, but what the heck? Nice book. 2 stars. Oh, no reviews. You know what? I don't think that's entirely legal. Why am I here? I guess we'll sell the stuff while we're here, but I didn't mean to actually come in here. I wanted to round up this episode today, so I don't know, colouring by numbers. When's the last time I did it? Who knows? Maybe I never have. Maybe it's all been in my imagination. I've never actually done it before. That'd be crazy. I don't know what I think about that. But anyway, we are going to round off this episode here. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons, and I've been Dear Darling. Any likes, comments, subscription, shares are greatly appreciated. Join my Dear Darling Discord and follow me on Twitter down below. I hope we can see each other again, but for now it's our farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.